You're watching Monty TV. I'm Jackie Karsh, sitting down now with John Street. He's the CEO of cloud commerce marketplace Pax8. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks for having me.
So how has the cloud commerce space evolved in recent years?
You know, when we started Pax8 in 2012, the concept of a marketplace really was pretty nascent. People didn't really get it. And in fact, I was out in market kind of explaining the concept because you had this coming explosion of cloud products and you really needed a facile sort of virtual marketplace to really buy those products. And for service providers who provide those products downstream to their customers, for them to go individually to each vendor in the marketplace is kind of difficult. So we created this really facile way for the service providers to get aggregated products so that they could buy it in one-stop shop.
And now it's commonplace, right? Everybody talks about the cloud.
It is, and I'm very happy about this because I can tell you 10 years ago I was out in market explaining this and I got a lot of people scratching their heads saying, what is this? And now I feel very vindicated because people get the concept quite well.
What emerging technologies in the cloud space are you most excited about?
Well, everybody's talking about AI, and there's a lot of opportunity there, but still, every business needs the basic building blocks of an IT stack, and we provide all of that. But there's a lot of exciting new products. And when we envisioned Pax8 12 years ago, we were talking about this coming explosion of SaaS products. And so you could just see the thing that was building is as you have all the pieces to put together an entire IT stack to service a business, they didn't need to come from a single source. So you could see very clever people were creating software in a kind of way it's pixelated, if you will. So you can get as an end user of products, you can get everything you need to complete a whole picture. And the way the delivery with SaaS and the cloud itself really lent itself so you could buy whatever you need that was best of breed and kind of cobble it together and make it work as a single solution. And that reality is now here.
Now, you can't talk about the last decade or even the last 5 years when you're talking about the cloud without, addressing the fact that there's so much work that's being done remotely now. What's your take on it?
Well, it was great for our business because, it was funny, back in 2012 and 2011, we were conceptualizing the business. We did talk quite a bit about remote work and how this would affect how people operated in the IT environment, but we weren't talking about it really in the context of a pandemic. What we were talking about was that people would realize the power of working remotely would be good on the environment, that you wouldn't be burning fossil fuel to get to an office. So when the pandemic itself hit, we had a kind of a panic moment because as a company that's newer to the space, we weren't sure exactly where this was going. And in fact, we grew so fast that it actually, we had to scramble to have enough money to handle the growth. So it's been fantastic for our business.
It's a good problem to have.
It is.
Tell me about SMB and why it might be a bigger opportunity than enterprise.
Well, the SMB sector, the small medium business sector, collectively aggregate, when you aggregate it all together, it's as large a market as the large enterprise market. And it's an often overlooked sector of the market because you have all this new emerging software companies. And the difficulty in a SaaS delivery model is the cost of customer acquisition. So a 30-person law firm, a new SaaS company, it's hard for them to justify the cost to go after that business. So you need an effective aggregator. And from our perspective, the SMB has been, they've been underserved. Historically, they've always been underserved. So we're very, very focused on the 30 to 100 person small business firm. And we now have almost 500,000 of those small businesses buying through our marketplace through their service provider network. And these smaller companies have outsourced their IT. But what's more interesting in the long run is the whole SaaS marketplace, all of these things are becoming more and more transactional. And in the end, people that have been doing large systems integration work, they're in trouble. Because no one's writing software now that isn't interoperable with other disparate types of software.
Pax8 is not your first company, and you've built a bunch of companies over the years. What have you learned about yourself as a leader building those companies?
Probably the most important lesson I learned along the way is I'm not really that smart. I mean, as a young guy, I had early success, and I thought I knew everything. And the older I get, and I'm one of the old guard these days, but I come to it with a beginner's mindset often, because somewhere along the way I realized that I didn't know that. I got better at knowing what I didn't know. And I think young guys, and especially if you have early success, your biggest struggle is not knowing what you don't know. And so it's from that perspective, any approach, I have a lot of pattern recognition these days and could see stuff, but don't assume I know the answer.